What's up guys, welcome to new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial, and today we're gonna continue with the RPG series. Today we will be implementing some sounds and modifying some of the UI so it starts looking a bit nicer. It's gonna be a very easy bit to follow, so let's get started. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is go ahead and create a new folder for our audio. So here we'll place all of our sounds basically. Let's go ahead and enter, and we're gonna create some categories. So let's go ahead and create a new folder, and the first folder is going to be for footsteps, and then we're going to create another folder, and it's going to be basically for grunts or hits. So we just put grunts / hits in plural, and then we can just go ahead and create another folder for UI. So basically kind of interface sounds. So for example, when we level up and stuff. Okay, great. So let's start by importing some of the sounds. So I will be leaving them all in the description, as well as the UI that later on in the episode will import. But let's first of all start with the sounds. So we're gonna go ahead and open the folder, and you can see that we have all of these different sounds. So let's begin with the footstep. So just go ahead and find the footstep and just drag it into the footsteps folder. Great, there it is. And then we'll go ahead and do the same with the grunts. So we have one grunt here, so let's go ahead and drag it here. And then we also have two depths, so let's go ahead and get the two depths and just drag it here too. Now you will see that sometimes you will see that it appears a mess, and if you want to make the sounds as a template, just say no, we don't need that over there, and then we need to import some other sounds. So we have left the knife stab and the level up. So first of all, let's get the level ups and just put them in UI. And then great, and we just need the whoosh, or I don't know how you really pronounce it, but it's usually like a okay for combat, and then knife stab. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those under grunts and hits. Later on, as we add more sounds, we can implement more sub folders and categories to manage a bit everything less. So that's all we need. So we can go ahead and close this. Ctrl+Shift+S to save everything, and there we go. So let's begin by implementing our footsteps, because right now if we press play, we can walk around, but there's nothing interesting going on, of course. So this is the footstep sound. Probably you won't hear it, so I'm gonna actually go ahead and just increase a bit the volume of the recording. Okay, so there we go. You can kind of hear it. It's pretty subtle, so that's what we want. And of course, later on we'll be importing more different footsteps depending on the surface. For example, we're in the sand, or when we are in concrete, and etc. So right now we're just gonna add a generic footstep just to get the feeling of it. So the thing I'm going to do is make it dynamic. So instead of having a lot of different varieties of it, and then going ahead and just picking a random one, what we can do is create a Metasound and then dynamically, randomly change the pitch. So you'll see what I mean. I actually did a video on it before. So yeah, let's go ahead and right click and go into sounds, and you will see here Metasound source. Now if you're in 5.1, it will automatically be enabled, like the plugin and stuff. But if not, you can just go to edit plugins and go into Meta sound, and there we go. Just go ahead and enable, and basically reopen the editor. But if you are in 5.1 upwards, it will be fine like me. So just right click here, sounds, Metasound source. This will be an ms_footstep. Let's go ahead and open this up. So you see that we have this graph, and we have like if it was pretty much a blueprint. So here we can basically make our notes to create our incredible sounds. So let's go ahead and just add a wave player. In our case, it will be just a mono one, and now we can go ahead and find our footsteps, and then we can go ahead and plug the output into our outputs. So the output on the sound will be here, and then the unfinished event will be plugged in here. And now if we press play, it just plays the sound as normal. So you just go ahead and play the sound like I was before. But now what we want to do is get the pitch and randomly change it. So if I, for example, put this at 10, you will hear a difference. But if I put it back to 0, it's now a bit different. So basically we just want to, each time that we play this, randomly change a bit the pitch. Let's go ahead and drag this and say a random float. And now we can, sorry about that. Now we can go ahead and plug the on play into the next, and then the on next into play. And now the minimum will be, well, depending on the range that you want to have. So let's say for now -5 and the maximum 3. So we have a bit of range. And now we press play. Each time that we play is a bit different. And maybe we need to close a bit the range, so -3 and 3. That's a bit better. So really it's just up to you going ahead and choosing the sounds that you want. Let's go ahead and save and we can close this. So the last thing that we have to do is create a sound attenuation, basically make it on a 3D space, because if not, it will play through the whole world and we wouldn't like that. So we just go ahead and right click, sound attenuation. It's gonna be SA underscore, and really we can create different ones for footsteps and stuff. But for now, what we're going to do is create one for the character overall. And this will actually be placed on audio, so we can go ahead and move it. And this will be basically the general character sounds. So footsteps, grunts, maybe some death effects, whatever, it will be under this attenuation. Now we could go in the future and we want more control, create one for footsteps, one for the grunts, and so on. But I think we can create a general one. Let's go ahead and open this, and you can see that the only thing that we have to touch is the inner radius and the follow-up distance. So what we can do to basically go ahead and test this is just get, for example, the footstep sound, the normal one, drag it into the scene, and then in here set the attenuation setting to be the attenuation what we have just created. So now if we select the object, you can see that we have this massive spheres, and this just indicates the range that it will go through. Now it is huge, and we don't want to be hearing the player right over there. So let's go ahead and open the attenuation, and now what we can do is control a bit the values. So first of all, the follow-up distance, we might need to decrease this quite a lot. Let's go ahead and put around 800 for now. Now the inner radius basically if you're inside this radius, you will hear it 100% on all directions, like if it was playing on 2D almost. So we want to limit this quite a lot, around maybe over 100, and then maybe we need to now increase a bit more the follow-up distance because we did decrease a lot, so maybe around 1000, and it will also create a nice fade. Now this is just testing and see what works best for us. So now let's go into footsteps, and in the footsteps sound we want to go down and apply the attenuation, and now we're gonna do exactly the same with the Metasound. So we're gonna go into the source, attenuation, and add it over here, and now it will go ahead and play there. So now we can go ahead and delete the example one in the scene if you place it like me, and then what we can do is start basically applying the footstep animation on our character, because right now of course we have not implemented anything, so when we run nothing happens. So what we need to do is go into characters, mannequins, animations, mani, and then we have all the animations. I want to go into the run forward. So let's go ahead and open this. Of course, if you're using any other animation, you can go and open up yours. And now this, because this is the template example animation, it has this really nice layouts over here, so we can see exactly where we need to play the sound. So basically this notifies, just says when the foot touches the ground. So it's gonna be very easy for us, because what we need to do, just go into notifies and add a new track. And this will be basically footsteps. And now what we can do is just place our cursor right on the first foot, and just right click and go into add notify and then play sound. And now we select it, we might move it to match the point over there, just approximately, and you select it and go in details and just put the ms_footstep, not the original sound but the meta sound, because we wanted to basically play it dynamically each time. And now we can just copy this and just go into the cursor and you start pasting this over here, and basically we'll just go ahead and fill on all the places. So now we can even preview here. So yeah, well, okay, we are not hearing it, but we should be able to hear. Maybe it's because of the attenuation, but we'll see. So actually run, if we press play, there we go, we are hearing it. Maybe it's hard to see in the recording, but we are basically going ahead and hearing it. So right now we only can hear it in the normal forward animation. If I were to sprint with Alt, nothing happens, so we have to also do it in the sprint. And then also when I jump and land, there's no cool sound of landing, and also when I basically motion warp, there's no sound at all. Let's go ahead and add just a few sounds over there. So first of all, let's go into the sprint, and do exactly the same. Now, because I already have it copied, I can just go and select the track, actually create a new one. So go into notifies, a notify track, footsteps, and then select the track, click on here, and then Ctrl V, and then just put it over here. Of course, for some reason your copying and pasting doesn't work, and just right click like I did before, notify, play sound, and then select it over here. But it is way faster if you select the track, like click, put the mouse over, and just basically go ahead and paste it. And if not, you can just move it or apply it like I did before. And there we go, great. So that's done over there. And now what we have to do is go into the land animation. So in here we have it over here, open it, and then pretty much, let's say around here, we can start playing it. So what we can do is again add another track. It's gonna be land, and then we can just add a new notify, play sound. In our case, we're gonna be using the same MS footstep, but in this case we can increase slightly, like into 1.3, the volume, because hey, we are landing with more velocity, so we're hitting harder the ground, so we can play a bit more louder the sound. And that's it pretty much. So now we need to do it also in our vaulting animation. So we already have it on walking, on the sprint, when we jump, on the land. So we now have to go ahead and do it when we vault. Let's go into characters, RPG, animations, and now we can go into our vaulting. And now what we can do is just open the animation sequence, the normal one, and basically just ignore the curves, and then we can go into the notify section. So here we kind of need to put the pose over here and see. So okay, we are jumping here, and right there, there's these feet touching the ground around, so in 0.46. Now this can be pretty approximate, but the best timing you do, the better, of course. So in the notify truck, add a sound, the play sound, and then this is gonna be the MS footstep. And if you want, we can increase this into 1.3 like we did before, because I guess that's a bit harder because we're hitting with more velocity, but it's up to you. And then here is touching with the other foot, so let me just click and paste it because I already copied it. So there you go, and then jump, and then in here we actually can play two separate footsteps. So in here we have one, and then here we have another one. So basically, because they will be probably overlapping, we just place this here and then just move it a bit into the right, and you can see over here, there we go. So everything is looking really cool. So if I press play now, when I vault, I also go ahead and have the sounds. Go ahead and run and everything. Cool, so everything's working. Great, footsteps done. So now we can go ahead and move into our, well, knife hit on the assassination, because right now it is pretty bland. If I go over here and yeah, it's loading the shaders, don't worry about that. Anyway, assassinate, like there's no sound. Let's go ahead and put some cool sounds over here. So what we can do is go into the characters, RPG character, animations, and in assassinations, we can go ahead and find our animations and put them. Now, real quick, what we're going to do is exactly the same that we did with the footstep, is create another meta sound, so we can dynamically change the pitch of the knife hit, so it's a bit better. So in the grunts and hits, we can get the knife stop, and just go ahead and right click, create a new meta sound, ms underscore, basically knife stab, basically. Let's go ahead and open this, put it over here. And now the input will be basically the wave player mono. I said the other way around, and then out in the mono will be here, and on finish on here. And now the wave asset will of course be the knife stab, and then we'll do the same, get this, do the random float, and then the on plane to the next, and then on next onto here, and then we can put a different range. So let's say that we're gonna do pretty much the same, so around from -3 to, let's say, 3. So we pay it. Yeah, that sounds really cool. So now we can go ahead and save everything and close it. And one thing before, we're gonna open the knife stab original sound and go down and apply the character sound attenuation, and do the same with the meta sound. So let's go into Metasound, I don't know how to speak. Metasound, go into source, and again in attenuation settings, just apply the same attenuation, so it will play in the 3D space. Great, so now yes, we can go into characters, RPG, animations, assassinations, and then go ahead and go into the per knife. In this case, we need to be the attackant, so the one who plays that, and we can just go into the animation sequence, the original one. And now we need to basically time our hits. Now, maybe you have basically noticed that the sound for the knife hit does have a bit of delay. It starts a bit later, so we have to basically just put the sound a bit before because of that. It's a bit annoying, but hey, it's what it is. Let's go here, and then we need to calculate a bit where it's gonna hit. So really, I mean, the player's not gonna notice some milliseconds, so it doesn't matter, it's just approximate. Okay, so let's do over here, I guess that here, that's a pretty good sound. So let's go before, because like I mentioned before, it has a bit of delay. Right click, add notify, play sound, select it, and it's gonna be the MS knife stab, and then we can press play and preview it. Now yes, it has a bit of delay, so we can move it. Okay, yeah, it has to be even a bit further. Yes, a bit better. Copy it and then go into here, and then here is again, so a bit before, and then great. And then here we like ripping off his neck. So I guess over here is kind of good, and put it over here, so you can see a bit the timings over here. Also, when you pass over, they also play, so maybe it's a bit annoying, but hey, what's with this anyway. Great. And a thing that I'm going to do is also play another sound of the guy screaming. So we can actually do it better from the, like, I guess the health system or the assassination system. So what we can do is just get the dummy selected in the scene, Ctrl E to open up its blueprint. And now here we have different stuff. Let me just plug in the ragdoll. I don't know why I have this. I think I was doing a thumbnail, so don't worry about that. But now we have all this, great. So what we can do is when it dies, we can play an assassination. So ragdoll, so right after the duration, this is around the timing when we die. So the enemy dies. So we can just say play sound at location, and the location will be what the get actor location. So basically his current location right now. And we can just plug in the sound, which in this case will be the the death 1 or death 2. So in a second we'll do a sound cue, so we can pick one of those randomly. And then in the attenuation, again, we need to put the character, and then we can just put it over here. Great. So now when I go here and press play, I can go and jump this. Pretty cool. Go into here, go into his back. He's turning around because yeah, it turned him for a thumbnail, but it's okay. Anyway, go here. Oh. Okay, that was maybe too much delay. Okay, so yeah, so let's better go ahead and do it separately. So what we can do is basically just make a sequence, and then later on, instead of playing it from here, play it from here with a less of the delay. So let's say it's gonna be 1.2 around. All right, let's see, that's a bit better. So go ahead and just press play here. Yeah, it's a bit better. Okay, so this is really playing with these sounds, you know, and the timings and stuff. So we'll see. Okay, a bit later, 1.7. I think that will be great. Okay, good. So this, yeah, just playing around with the timings and stuff, pretty much. And of course, you can use whatever sounds you want. If you have pod, a pack, or whatever, you can use those instead of the ones that I'm putting in the description. Anyway, so now let's go ahead and let's see what sounds we have left, I guess, of the UI. So in grunts, yeah, so let's do the sound cue. So just right click on the sounds, sound cue, and now it's gonna be C underscore, it's gonna be basically death. So now we can go ahead and open this, and we can just go ahead and press Control space, so we can open this tab, and now we can go and find our 2 deaths and just drag them. And now we can just get this random node and just put it over here. So it's time that we play. We'll be playing a random one, and now here we can just put this one to be the SS death, and there we go. Great. So now we can close this. Cool. So now we have pretty much all this. Now we have some whoosh animation that we're not using. But when you attack this, more later on in the series we'll start using this, and then we have another ground for this. So this ground, which is very small, we're gonna be basically using it when we go ahead and jump. Okay, so let's go ahead and find the content. Actually, and also, sorry, real quick, we're gonna go to the grunt and apply the sound attenuation. So in that specific ground, let's go into the characters, mannequins, animations, many. Let's go into the jump, and let's go into the right over here around, and let's add the play sound notify, and then we can plug in the grunt over here. So when we jump, it will play the grunt animation, sorry, the sound. Cool. And also let's go ahead and do it with the animation montage, vaulting. So the RPG character animations, vaulting in here, around here, let's say. Let's go ahead and do the play sound naughty. It's gonna be grunt. There we go. So now if we press play, we go here. It also do like a and it goes ahead and vaults like if it's doing exercise. Good. Real quick before we start with the UI and some UI sounds, there was some things that you guys commented, as that if you're standing still and you press Alt, the stamina decreases, as you can see. It only has to be if you're running. So let's go into the third person character blueprint and quickly go ahead and fix this. So what we can do is go into the stamina system, and also in here basically control if we are not moving, actually here. So only will drain if we are basically, if can't sprint is true, and also we're moving. So let's get the character, sorry, no, just the get velocity, and then we can just do a vector length, so it will convert into a nice float, and drag it, and now we can just make that is bigger than 0. So just put an AND condition, and this will go here, and this here, and this here. So only if can sprint and the velocity is bigger than 0 will be true. So now it doesn't happen. You see, it doesn't decrease, but when I'm walking and running, yes. But not when I'm standing still, which is great. So it's exactly what we went ahead and wanted. Great. Also, if some of the sounds you cannot really hear them, you can go ahead and increase the volume and stuff. That's up to you. And also, if you're not hearing in the recording, is that, well, maybe I have my voice more than my desktop audio and stuff, all these things. Anyway, let's go ahead and go a bit and customize the UI and implement the sounds for the UI until now, which is just level up pretty much. So let's go ahead and open the UI HUD over here, and you can see that we have the three progress bar, and then over here is some text as in here, and then we have a nice icon here, and then we can add some more icons. So again, I have left basically folder to download. So let's go into the UI and just create a new folder, and let's just name this right now a generic icons, and here we're gonna place all things. So let's go ahead and open the folder, and basically in here I have left more things and also a font. So let's go ahead and first select the icons and just drag them in. You can see them, and then UI, we can just go back and create a new folder for the fonts. And now we can go ahead and get the font folder, just drag it in, and then you will say that if you want to create a new asset, and let's say yes all, yes, and then Ctrl+Shift+S. Maybe we have some failure of imports because we did try to import another file, but it's all of what we need. So now that's okay, we don't need any more. So let's begin with the UI icons. So Ctrl+Shift+S to save everything, and now we have a few over here. So let's go into the HUD, and now first of all let's go up here and select this level icon, and now we can put the shield that I was talking about in the last episode. Now if you want, and I'm gonna do so, is go ahead and just drop it a bit and put it right behind of the text. So we can go and get the level icon and right beneath the level text. There we go. Around here, I guess. And then we can get the text and just put it over here. Then maybe it has to be a bit bigger. So that's up to you. Just playing around a bit with this. And then the sound, we have to kind of center it. And then we have to move it. Wait, no. To get this, move it a bit. So the position X. You can move it. There we go. That's a bit better. So we can also maybe, yeah, we can increase it a bit more. So actually, let's see the size of it. So if we go ahead and put the mouse over, you can see the dimensions is 512 by 512. If we go here, we have size X is 512 by 512. So that's really not what we want. So basically, just it has to match both. So let's try with 60 and 60. So 60, not 0. Okay, that's a bit better. That's better, actually, yes. Okay. Yeah, we can do that for now. Yes, looks pretty cool. Okay, and now we're gonna go down over here and add the health and stamina icon. So we just get the image, drag it over here, anchor it into down over here, change the name into, let's say, the health icon, and then we can go to the image and just get the what was health icon, or how did I name it? Plus. Okay, just put plus here. And then this will be, let's say, 25 and 25. And let's just put it over here. So the size will depend. Maybe that's too big. Let's do 15 by 15. Yeah, like that, a bit more. All right. And I guess that this icons over here could be just temporary. So yeah, they're for now pretty much. So let's get this, Ctrl D to duplicate it, and make sure the anchors is down. And yes, it is. Put it over here right next to the stamina. Change the name to be, well, the stamina icon, and then I'm gonna change this to be, what was, I think it was energy this time, or how was it? Flash. Okay, it's called flash. Let's put it here, and then put a bit more to the right, maybe. Well, yeah, that's pretty good like that. Okay, and compound save. And now if we press play, we have cool icons next to a UI. Now maybe it's a bit maybe small, so I can increase that. So we slightly increase that, but also have to mention that I'm using a 4K monitor, so that heavily, you know, reduces a bit the, basically just the size overall of things. So let me just put this back over here. Y, and then this is more over here. Yeah, it's a bit better. Okay, great. So let's change now the progress bar. So we can do is select the progress bar and then go into the background and fill image. So in the style, open this up, background and fill, and then we can go ahead and just put the bar. It's gonna be this one, and then it's gonna be exactly the same for the fill image as bar. There you go. Now we have some nice round edges. Let's do the same with the stamina. Go here and put bar, and here bar. And now we'll do the same with the level up. So selected, go here, see bar, no, here no, the image, sorry, bar, and then the same in the fill one, bar, and there we go. And nice, it looks pretty nice right now. As you can see, it looks way cooler and better, like, just much better. Also, let me get this two guys over here and just increase it a bit. And then this guy over here, I'm gonna put it in 20, so it's a bit smaller, so it fits a bit better the text. And now what we're going to do is go ahead and change the font. So what we can do is check how it was named. So let's go into the fonts over here, and it's called basically Nanum something. Okay, let's go here, select, let's start with this small one over here, and now we can go into the font and change the font family into the Nanum, and you can see that we have all of them here. Let's try with the regular. Okay, maybe that's too thin. Bold looks pretty cool. Let's go now up here and change the font to be bold, I guess it was what we said. Yes, and then here we can just say extra bold. Let's go here, extra bold, and there we go. And of course you can use whatever and type of font and UI you want. Absolutely. So there we go. Now it's looking much nicer. So now let's go ahead and I think it was 2. Yeah, I can increase my levels into the right top, you can see. So now when we level up, let's play a nice sound. So for that, what we have to do is go into the blueprints and go into the player stats. Okay, and now you can see all this. So let's go into level and go into the increase level function. And basically right after that, when we increase the level, we need to play sound. And in this case, it will be just 2D because we don't need to play in a 3D space. It's just playing in, sounds in our screen. So we need to now go ahead and find it. So let's see how it was called, because I don't remember. So in UI, we have level up 1 and 2. So we have to play the 2 sounds. So let's go ahead and find level up 1 and then copy and paste it and just play the level up 2. Now, I don't know if we need any delays. Let's see. So now if we press play and increase our level, there you go. It looks pretty cool. Look at him. Hear it. Look. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So later on, of course, we will, show some image effects on the top of the, like Assassin's Creed, of the screen here, which flashes a new level achieved, level 4, whatever. And this honestly sounds pretty cool. Let's hear it again. Of course, now it is harder to level up because our XP is increasing, the required. There you go. I like this sound. Pretty cool. Great. So I think that we got some really cool things going on. We have some nice footsteps. Maybe you cannot hear in the recording, but they are, and I'm hearing them. Really cool. And then also some grunts when we jump and motion warp and stuff, and then also here when we kill the guy over here. So of course we will need to modify a bit the assassination, so there's like some blood effects coming up, etc. Maybe just with the sounds, it just feels a bit raw, but don't worry, there's a lot of things, tiny details to add. Okay guys, so gonna be leaving this episode here. In the next episode we will begin finally with combat, hopefully. Okay, so yes, I'm very excited. So we'll start a bit with the combat system, with the basics of it, with the structure, and we'll go ahead and just test our combat system with this dummy over here. He's suffering a lot with our assassinations already, but hey, now he will have some swords coming into his head, but it's what it is. Okay, so if you found the video helpful, I really appreciate you could like the video and subscribe to my channel, and also go ahead and join my Discord server so you can share your progress, and also go ahead and ask any questions on anything. Also, I would really appreciate you could follow me on my socials, just Twitter and Instagram, and also check out all of my Unreal Engine 5 tutorials. And with all that said, bye bye.